Hello and welcome to NYS Online How To series. In this episode, we're gonna learn how to teach Cyber Kids classes. Let's find out what lessons are in Cyber Kids classes, shall we? Right, so first we're gonna have normal lessons, and then once in a while you're gonna get a review lessons. After that, you're gonna get the big review lessons, which are the midterm and the final reviews. And lastly is the midterm and final exams. Right, for the midterm and final exams, we have a completely separate video for it, so please do check that one out. But for now, in this video, we're just going to cover these three. Alright, let's begin. So, in the lesson type number 1, the normal lessons, we're usually gonna have 2 to 3 sets of vocab teaching slides. Right, remember these are not 2 to 3 vocab, but sets of slides. 2 to 3 sets of slides. Right, and then we're gonna have 1 set of review exercises and 1 story. Then we're gonna have the normal review lessons. In this lesson, we're gonna get a song, sometime a crosswords puzzle, and then we're gonna get an exercise or 2, and then a game. And then lastly, we're gonna get the big review ones. In here, the contents are rather simple. They're only flashcards and stories. So now let's go back and learn a little bit more about the normal lessons, shall we? Okay, so let me pull up one lesson real quick. So here we have a normal lesson, and in this lesson we're gonna have a 2 to 3 sets of vocab slides, as I've mentioned before, and let's find out what's in them. Right, so in a set of vocab slides, we're gonna have 2 vocab slides. The first one being this one. This is called the title sound slide. Okay, because in this lesson we're gonna be learning the sound th. Right. And then after that we're gonna get a vocabulary slide. Okay, and we're always going to have 4 vocabs. So as you can see here, once we're done with the first 2 vocab slides, next we're gonna have an exercise slide, another exercise slide, and then the chant slide. And that will complete our set of vocab slides. And in a lesson, we're gonna have from 2 to 3 sets of these, sets of 5. Once we're done with the 3 sets, we're gonna move on to something I call the review exercise. So in these exercises, they're gonna cover all of the vocab that we have learned previously earlier in the lessons. So we're gonna get 1 and 2, and this one is where we're gonna try to see if the student can start spelling using the sound, identifying the sound. Right, and once we're done with these, we're gonna move on to the story. Right, now I'm going to go through the steps as well as giving you a demo on how to teach each different slide. Right, so let's get back to the very first one. So first, I'm going to show you the steps. And this sheet is also provided along with the syllabus, so you can always check it out before teaching or when you're practicing as well. Okay, so for the first slide, for the sound introduction slide, we're just gonna do a listen and repeat. Right, here we're gonna do it TC. That means one teacher say, the whole class repeat. This. 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 Okay, so what I just did there was point, model, gesture for them to read, and we continue to do it a few times. Usually I choose the number 3 for the initial word, and the goal to this slide is for them to get familiar with the sound this. Right, and once we're done with this one, we move on to the next one. Right, because there are a lot of vocabs here and a lot of repetitions in this slide, and therefore we really want to make it fun. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go this, this. Alright, we can vary the amount of repetition in one turn, or we can go with the tone. This. Okay, and we can go from top down. This. Or we can go with the volume. This. Right, and then we can always go from top down again. This. Right, and see how I always put my hand behind my ear. That is a cue action. That's what I call a cue action to cue the student, right? Okay, it's your turn to read. So, and of course, for the first few times, they're gonna struggle on understanding what you're doing. But as soon as they get easier, it's gonna be such an easy job when you're doing pronunciation drill. And you can also do this TC, which means teacher say, the whole class repeat, instead of going one by one, and it's going to take a lot of times. Right, and another thing, because they're rather young, we need to have a lot of practice for them in order to have them remember the knowledge. So in this slide, I try to have them repeat at least 10 times for each vocab. So that's why I have the 3 different techniques: the variation in numbers, variations in tone, and variations in volume. Right. Once we're done with teaching the pronunciation, we will move on to review with them. So once I've done teaching this, right, I will review with them like circle, what? Again, what? Again, what? Alright, and see, every repetition, I always did it differently so that they won't get bored and I won't bore myself out as well. Alright, so once we're done with that, that was our first step. Once we're done with the listening and review, we're gonna proceed to review them, and that was the first word. Once we're done with the first word, we're gonna move on and teach them the second word, right? And then again, we're gonna ask them, what? 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 Alright, and then we're gonna move on. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then all of it. There we go. Right, and that's where the normal drill ends, where they can repeat and they don't have to think a lot. Like, the next part that we can practice and to help them remember and also to get them engaged in the lesson is that an exercise I call partial sound, or partial words. Right, so let's example for this word, right? I'm not going to say the full word. I'm not going to say this and ask them. I'm going to say the, and they're gonna go this, again, the, this. Very good. Next one, that, again, that. Next one, mother. Very good. Father. Very good. Alright, so, but before doing this, you need to have the TA instruct the children on, what they have to do once you have said the partial word. Right. So, but earlier I did with the arrow, but this time I'm not going to do it with the arrow, and I'm just going to give them a little bit more time so they can think. So again, the. Oh, this, very good. Okay, mother. Oh, mother, good job. The. Oh, that. Father. Oh, father, good job. So, see, when we're not using the arrow, we're gonna use our hand to kill them. But when usually, if we're having any sort of like instruction on the board, visual instruction, then we're not gonna be using our hands. Right, and this, you can apply this to all of the other different vocab slides. Once we're done with the vocab slides, we're gonna move on and have the TA translate the meaning. Right, this one you can take a little bit of rest, and then we're gonna move on to the exercise. Right, for any kind of exercise, whether it's the normal exercise, the review exercise, or even games, we are going to have 4 steps. Okay, so the 4 steps will include these: instruct, example, conduct, correct, and spelling. Right, spelling is actually optional, so we will only be remembering the 4: instruct, example, conduct, and correct. Right, so what does instruct means? Instruct means telling the children what to do, and in this step you need to go slow and clear, and then have the TA translate it to the children if they are having trouble understanding. Next one, to ensure that they got the instruction, we need some sort of visual instruction as well. So we're going to do an example, and for this one we're going to listen, and we're going to find down which word the audio is saying, and then we're going to circle it. Right, so let's listen. Okay, so it was father. So you circle. Right, so you give them a free answer. Now, what's next is that once you're done with instruct and example, next one is conduct. Conduct means you continue to play the audio, and then the children will start doing it in the book. Not on the board, in the book. Right. We give them one or twice, one go or two goes to do it, and then we're gonna have them write the answers on the board. So once we're done, we're gonna have student A, could you please do number 2? Student C, could you please do number 3? Student B, could you please do number 4? And what I usually do is I usually write their names here. So let's say like A, and then B, and then C. Okay, and sometime if there are too many students, sometimes I'll split the exercise in 2 if possible. Let's say for this one, I can do this exercise. So half of the student will do the left part, and the other half will do the right part. Right. Sorry, the camera is inverted. Right. So again, 4 steps: instruct, example, conduct, doing in the book, and then assign them on the board for correction. Okay. Once we're done with that, we're gonna move on to the chant. Okay. And yeah. Here we're gonna have another exercise. Same goes, 4 steps. For the listen and chant, usually this is how it goes. So we're gonna go with the words first. This father, that mother. This father, that mother. So we're gonna start with the words first. And then we're gonna continue with the sentence. This is my father. That is my mother. So we're gonna teach them the pronunciation slowly. Right, words, phrases or clause, and then we're gonna have them do the whole thing. So this father, that mother. This is my father. That is my mother. This is my father and that is my mother. So see, we split them into 3 different steps. Words, clause or phrase, and then the whole thing. And it is also listed here. And we can also have a fun quick reaction exercise here by the teacher saying the initial words, and then they have to say the whole phrase or clause. So for example, teacher say this is my father. Teacher say that is my mother. Right, and that's how you do it for the chat slides. Okay, once we're done with these 5, we have finished a set, and the rest will be rinse and repeat for the next 1 or 2 sets of vocab. Right, so again, vocabulary exercises, chant. For the review exercises, again, even though they're called differently, they're still exercises. So what we're gonna do again is instruct, example, conduct, which means doing it in the book, and correct, which means having them do it on the board. And I did mention spelling earlier. So spelling means after they're done writing, you can have each of them spell the word that they have written again. So that we will help them remember the spelling as well. Right, and once we're done with the first part, we're gonna get to the final part, which is the story. The story in here, we're gonna teach them pronunciation of each picture. So sentence and then the whole paragraph. So maybe a sentence. I am Dale Duck. I am Dale Duck. Next sentence. That is my father. That is my father. Last one. He likes to bake cakes. He likes to bake cakes. Once we're done with all 3 sentences, we're gonna go with the full paragraph or the full picture. I am Dale Duck. That is my father. He likes to bake cakes. Once we're done with that, have a TA translate that sentence. Or we can wait until we finish the pronunciation of the 4 pictures. And then we're going to have the TA translate then. Right, once we're done with that, we're not going to have them tell the story just yet. We're not going to have them present the story. No, we're going to continue to teach them we're gonna continue to practice. What I meant is, okay, let's say student A read picture 1, student B picture 2, student C picture 3, and student D picture 4, and then they're gonna switch. So A, B, C, D. All right, or you can have A read 1, 2, B read 3, 4, and then we're gonna swap. B read 1, 2, and A read 3, 4, and then we're gonna do it with the others as well. So you can swap the order, whichever you like, just in order for them to get some extra practice and get some extra confidence, so that by the end of the class, they can tell the story in front of everyone confidently. Alright, and that's how we're gonna do the the normal lesson. And here we go. I have listed all the steps mentioned and demoed in this video that you just saw earlier. Right, and that is for the normal lessons. Now we're gonna move on to the review lessons. For the review lessons, we're gonna have a song slide, puzzle slide, exercise, and game slide. What do I mean by that? Let's find out. Alright. So we're gonna start with a song slide. Right. So in the song slide, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have two activities. First one is they have to find the words that they have learned. Right. So let's say they have learned the word camp, they have learned the word family, father, mother, that, this. Okay. So they're gonna be looking for the words that they have learned before. Right. Once they have found all of the words, we're gonna check and make sure they got the pronunciation correctly. Okay, so we're gonna have some of them read 2 to 3 words, and then a few read 2 to 3 words. Each of them, sorry, I meant each of them read 2 to 3, and once they are done reading, we will know if they have remembered all of the words that we have taught them in the previous 2 units or not. If they have remembered, great. If they have not remembered the words, we're gonna check with them again, maybe teach them again. Right, once we're done with that step, we're gonna move on to listen to the song and circle the objects that was mentioned in the songs, because we need to make sure they got the pronunciation right before they can listen. So now we're gonna go ahead and play the song and have them circle the word in the book. And once they're done in the book, moving on to do it on the board. Again, same with exercise, but just a little bit different. Right. Once we're done with that one, we're gonna have the puzzle. How we're gonna conduct the puzzle? For the puzzle, we're gonna go like we're gonna do a picture review. What does it mean? Point at the picture and ask, what? Oh, bath. Can you spell it? B-A-T-H. Alright, and then we're gonna move on to do picture review with all 10 of the pictures here to make sure that they have got all of the words. So once they're finished with that, they can proceed and do the crossword puzzle in the book smoothly. Once they're done, get them do it on the board or spell it on the board rather, because the space in here are very small and there might not be enough for our children's little hands to write on them. So that you can have them spell it again and then you will write it on the board for them. That way they can be contributing to something and some sense of achievement, because their work is on the board. And we're gonna have correction as well. And make sure in the picture review, if any students missed any word, any vocabulary, help remind them, teach them again if possible, or have the TAs tell them again in the chat box. If there's a time constraint. But in this case, so I'm gonna do it again. Picture review. Once they're done, have them do it in the book, and then have them do it on the board and correct. Right. So that was the song and the puzzle. Right. Again, exercise. We're just going to go instruct, example, conduct, and correct. And then we're gonna have the games. So usually for the games, what I like to do is I like to erase all of the words. I usually do it before class. Alright, gonna erase everything. Right, so I'll erase everything and do another picture review with them, but this time we're gonna have them into 2 teams, and that's how they're going to get a sense of competition and they're participating better. Okay. And when they are doing this one, we'll have them do team A this word, team B this word, team A this word, but check if they have got all the words right, and that will be game 1. It's technically just a picture review, but with a sense of competition. They'll be participating more. Right, and once they've got all of the words, Next game is going to be a racing game, right? And see, you can see there's a wheel of numbers here. So how are we going to do it? We're going to go into a website that's called Wheel of Names. Right, we're going to go into a website that's called Wheel of Names, and then we're gonna insert the number. So in here we're gonna have 1 2 3 1 2 3. So I have already input the same. Or we can do it on the phone, right? And same steps. We're gonna do it on the phone. Why I do it on the phone? The reason being because when I do it, I can show it to the students on the screen. Right, just tap on it, and they're gonna get a number. Yay! So they got number 1. Right, so each teams are going to get a turn to spin the wheel and go. So let's say we're gonna have team purple and team blue. Right, let's say purple is going first. There we go. So purple got 1. Purple will go here, but they need to be able to pronounce that word. Okay, so purple, can you read that one? Father. Okay, good job. Alright, and then the next team is going to spin. Okay, so I think blue has got 2. Yay, blue got 2. Alright, so they got 2 here, show them. Alright, so they're gonna go 2, but they have to read the 2 words. Father, long. If they fail to read, let's say they fail to read long, but they only got father, they will only stop at father. They cannot move on to long. Okay. Right, and that is the racing game. And this game is quite popular when even when you're doing, sorry, that's not the right slide. Even when you're doing the big reviews, you're gonna also having that game, okay? And the rules of that game as well as the website is already provided here. Next, for the other games that we're gonna have them in the big review. Right, so let's have a look at the big review. Okay, where are they? There we go. So in here we're gonna have lots of flashcards and then the words to help them remind and to help your teacher prepare the lesson. Right, so let's have a look. And once, okay, so these are the flashcards, and here are the games that I recommend you playing with these flashcards. Right here I have 5 games. The racing board game, the dice rolling, so it's similar to the one that I just mentioned earlier, but this time we're not going to use a game slide, but instead we're going to use a flashcard slide, so you can determine this is the route to go. Alright, or you can go like this, whichever you feel like, and all you have to do is add the word start and add the word end. Oh, my bad, sorry. Start here, end here. Right, and that's how you do it. Okay, and games, for games, we're always going to start with a picture review. Right, and then we're going to instruct them on how to play, maybe give them an example, a quick draft game, and then we're gonna, conduct, which means play. These are the games, the other games. So sound to word is similar to the review activity that we do when we're teaching the vocabulary is that you can say the initial sound or an incomplete word, a partial word, and the student has to guess and say the words out loud. Right, next one, we're gonna have the word dueling. Okay, so remember when the cowboy in the past, and they'll be like, shooting each other. In this game, we're gonna have two. One is the shooter and the other one is the dodger. Right, so the shooter will say a word. Let's say the shooter will say star. The dodger has to say another word with the sound R. So they have 5 seconds to be able to say, let's say, car, or farm, or park. Right. If they were able to say it, that means they will dodge the bullet. Right. But if they fail, they will lose that duel. Each pair of students will have 3 turns of dueling. Right. So they will switch, shoot, and then dodge, and then they swap, shoot, and then dodge, swap row. Right. So that is a quick explanation of the word dueling. Pictionary and charade is technically the same thing, but Pictionary is you need the student to be drawing, and then charade or act it out is the student, instead of drawing, will need to use their hand. Let's say that describing the word pool, something like that. And so 2 students from each team will be describing, and then their team has to guess. Right, and that is the game charade. Right, all of the rules of the games are in here, and if you have any further questions on how to teach the CK classes or how to conduct a particular games, please don't hesitate to ask me, or if you would like to add any other activities of your own that you think is going to be fun and make the CK class more fun, go ahead and do it. Alright, or even replace one of my activities in here so that you can conduct the class better. Alright, so thank you for watching. This is the end of this episode, how to teach Cyber Kids classes, CK classes. Right, have a good day and have fun classes. Bye bye.